Okay, thanks for telling me that, Philip. Pivot this morning was 69.72. Upside resistance at 80, 90, 69.99, 09, and 17. Support below at 64, 56, 44, 35, and then 25. Pivot again, 72, support 64, 56, 44, 35, 25. Upside at 80, 90, 69.99, 09, and 17. Okay. All right. Down ticking here a little bit, coming down here to this first support level here at the 64 area. Again, make sure you keep your stops in place. We're not going to love any trade we put on. And I like to scale in around there. So I'm here at 65, 64, and 63 as we come here to retest these lows. Did not get, we might get it this time. Maybe not. I like to scale in around there. So I'm here at 60. All right. 65 got filled there for us. Now let's see what we want to do. Make sure you keep your stops in place. I'm sorry, 64, not 65. Now, nice little quick 2 points here against that. And giving us a little bit more. Got filled out at 63 also if you did jump in at the bottom end. So nice little quick rotation there of our first support area. And it's an area, and we're scalping these markets. We're trying to just take 2 to 3 points minimally on some of these trades. Obviously, sometimes we can take a little bit more than that, depending on the volatility and how you get in and how many contracts you trade. So everybody here trades differently, as you can imagine. Nobody here trades the same way. And so it all depends on how you manage. But if you're trading one lots, take your profits and move on. And you have to have your orders in place, basically, so that you can take advantage of those rotations when they occur. And sometimes they get there really fast, rotate really fast, and if you don't have your orders in place, you can start messing with that. So nice little quick jump there if we did jump in. Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Got down to 60.5 after that first quick rotation, and our next support level on the downside we're looking at is down at the 56 area. All right, very, very choppy here. Flew back up here, and then it flew back, and then it fly back up there when I had my position on. Now coming back up here to our upside resistance, our first upside resistance up here at 80. This is all happening in the first bar of the day, so you can see how the volatility is kind of. And there's always that volatility expansion the first part of the day, the first couple of bars of the morning. Some of our traders don't like to trade those because of the volatility, but again, obviously there's a risk-reward situation there. As we're trying to come up here to our upper resistance here at 80, and now we got filled up here. See what we want to do over here. Again, 79, it got up to, well, let's see if we get the 80 this time around. Just short of the 80, but the 79 is in. And a quick 2 points against the 79. Goodness, all on the same bar. Hit from the lows, now back up down to highs. Goodness. Why didn't they tell me they were going to do that? I'm telling you, these people don't tell me anything. All right, nice rotation against the upper end here. We got in there at 79. And again, I like to scale in around there, so you have to be careful now at 80 because of the price action. And I guess we're not going to get the 80. but we did get to 79, got up to 679, 75. If you had the 80, obviously you didn't get filled. They have to be a little bit careful here because it is a new bar. Let's see here what other numbers are coming out this morning. We do have earnings season right now, and the banks are coming off with their results. See if that even matters. If you look at the chat, you see the levels that we gave out this morning. They're there to guide us through the day. Even though we kind of trade the morning, markets does expand a little bit. We can use those levels all day long. The retail sales came out this morning at 9 o'clock here. We've got existing home sales, business inventories, and a Fed speak. So a few things to liven up our morning. 17 on the VIX. Wow, a little bit of a break, and look what happens. All right, so we got right up to our first support level there, rotated very nicely for us, got up to our first resistance area there, rotated. It's an area. It's like I keep mentioning it's an area because we're not going to be perfect. And that's why we scale in around there. Later on this afternoon, if you're going to be trading at 1 o'clock, the beige book is coming out. Get gone. Yeah. You're going to wish me luck with the Chicago Bears this week. I wished you luck with Kansas City all those last couple of years.
Hey, are you reading my mind? I just was getting ready to say, I meant to tell you that yesterday, but what a game, and congratulations.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, definitely for the future is very bright, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they just need to work on a little bit of defense, and it could be tough to compete with.
But man, that quarterback, is he one of the most nonchalant? I mean, like his interviews are like, he's just like pretty mellow, calm, you know.
It comes. I don't know if you noticed, but his coach on the sidelines very calm and relaxed. He doesn't get too excited.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of trickled down to him too, a little bit. You know, when they picked him, and I saw him in a training video or something, and I was watching him throw the ball, and he's like does it with so much ease. I'm like, this kid's going to be really good. And last year he was so not so bad. There was, I mean, you could see last year he made some nice throws that you can see that the Bear, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, you have never seen before, because these quarterbacks here have never had an arm or anything close to what this kid has over the last,
Yeah.
I mean, even when the Bears won the Super Bowl, which a lot of people don't remember because they weren't around or they're too young. They did not. It wasn't flashy. You know, the NFL wasn't like what it is now, and it was like gruts. You know, you grind it out and you run the ball with Peyton and Walter Payton, and so.
Yeah, Refrigerator Perry, man.
Yeah, remember that big boy? And he scored a touchdown during.
I know.
That was something.
The Bears.
Something. They were having fun. The Bears. That was a good group. Nobody expected this year. I thought they were going to do really well. I did at the beginning of the season.
You told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember saying that. And then they come the first two games and they lose the first two games, and I was getting crap from my friends. Oh yeah, the Bears are really. And then they've been, everybody's been saying how lucky they are and they're winning games that they shouldn't be winning, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but they're winning them. And they're doing it, and no matter how, you can't take those victories away from them.
Yeah.
And the other teams are losing. I mean, I have a couple friends of mine who are just like, they're the luckiest team ever. I'm like, okay, but they're one of the winningest teams ever. You still got to win. You got to win, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Nothing says it has to be pretty.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter how you do it. I mean, how many of those games have Kansas City have won that you thought that, they shouldn't have won or they came back from behind? Yeah, there's always. But I think the reason that everybody's saying it this year because they didn't when you had Kansas City and they were winning championships and they come from behind, you expect them to, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because that's what championship teams do. But the Bears, nobody expected them to do anything. They're just a bad group of boys that nobody thought they would do anything this year, and all of a sudden they're winning games from behind, and now nobody gives them any credit. Oh boy, look at that! Look at that! Look at that, Michael! Man, oh man! Look at that! There's always somebody pointing out how old we are.
Yeah. Older, not old.
I was listening. I was listening to one of these sports radio shows, and they were talking about the game and the potential of them going to the Super Bowl or not Super Bowl, or and of course one of them goes, "Yeah, well, I don't, I wasn't around for the Super Bowl season in '85." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I remember that game perfectly. And this commentator on the radio is like, I wasn't around then. How old are you, kid? You're not 45. You're not even 40. Yeah, it was awesome. It was fun. But honestly, the further you go along in the playoffs, you can't they can't keep doing that. I mean, they cannot keep getting way down and expecting to some of these teams are not going to make the mistakes that Green Bay made. And that's the other thing about, sure they won that playoff game and sure they came from behind, but it was also Green Bay, which has been a nemesis, literally a nemesis any Chicago fan, football fans back because they just keep winning, and they keep beating the Bears. As we come here to the downside here of our next support level, we're looking at the 56 area here. We'll see what it wants to do down here, if it wants to get down there. All right, going down here to the 56th area now. See what it wants to do. Keep your stops in place. Not going to love any trade we put on. And there was a nice rotation off of the highs there, off of the low, first the support level. Now they're coming and bringing it down here to low. A lot of volatility here. And not surprising, the volatility is amped up here when the markets start going down because that's how volatility is punched into these markets. We do have a couple numbers coming out here at 9 o'clock. See if we wants to do down here at the 56 area or not. Okay, it's trying. Got down there 7.5. We're still on the same bar, so we're still okay here. So it's a down tick a little bit more. All right, there's the 57 if you got in there. And and 56 if you got in. If you 29 trade, I don't know how many of you got it. Hopefully some of you got it. Well, we should get it this time. Yeah, we got it this time. And there's a nice quick. Whoop, that's nice. Oh, that was so nice. One got filled every. Oh, wow. This is bonus here. Bonus time. All right. Nice little quick pop up here. Nice. Nice little trade there. No risk whatsoever. Yeah, I love those trades. Give you a little bit more money to bet on the Bears win the Super Bowl. 12-1, by the way, if anybody wants to know what the odds are. They were 90-1 at the beginning of the season. So we're definitely giving up some bonus points there. But if you took them at the beginning of the season, they were 90-1. Yeah, it isn't. They're amazing. No, I mean, they played such a bad first half. A friend of mine was watching the game. She told me that she couldn't even bear to watch it anymore. She was flicking it on and off because she couldn't keep watching it. They were playing so bad that first half, making mistakes, throwing turnovers. Just brutal. All right, so we had a nice rotation against our 56 area there, even though we're trading below it, but they're scalping, so we have to take the profits when the market gives it to us. And we popped up to 60, 61 area as soon as we got filled and gave us a nice little pop back up here as a way to take more than 2 or 3 points on the trade. If you took a couple points off of it, that's great. And now we'll see what happens next. All right, so little resistance right now would be around the pivot area 72 if we get back up there. We do have a couple numbers this morning. Business inventories, existing home sales, both of those are going to be out uh, at the top of the hour here.
Hey, quick shout out to Richard H. Hey, Richard, you back? Make sure you check in so you don't get disconnected. Alan, we'll look to follow up around 11 a.m., the end of the morning session. I'll be able to answer any of your questions. For those that are joining us on our socials, join us live now at daytradingmarkets.org. It's our Zoom.
Right. We're getting some nice rotation here if you're able to stay long against that 56 area. If anybody has any questions, comments, please feel free to ask in the chat. I don't mind questions. See, there is a Fed speak, couple Fed speaks today at 11 if you're going to be trading then. And then the beige book at 1. And another Fed speak at 1:15. So Fed speakers are speaking.
I want to know if I put a trade in right now and walk away and put a sell in at the high of the overnight, if that will be a good trade.
High over the overnight, 7,003 probably. Oh, there you go. Somebody gave you an answer. Don said he gave you the old thumbs up.
Okay, there we go.
So you got to risk 40 S&P points to make 40. So we're looking down to 610, right? If you're going to put it in right around now. Risk reward, you got to be the same. So if they say good luck, I would probably, I think that a better stop would probably be above the 83. You're not taking that much risk. But Don says go for it.
Yeah. I need Don's big pockets. Deep pockets.
Big pockets and little brain.
Just jump on one of his tractors and you'll be okay. You'll feel like you own the world.
There you go.
I've got one of those tractors that I've already put more money in than I ever intended to.
Yeah, I got one or two of them myself.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so we did bounce off of, let's see, we did get bounced off of the 55 area, 56 area there. They got down to 52 and change. Now we're just kind of gravitating here a little bit. Little resistance would be around our pivot area there, at least for the time being. And the next support level we're looking at is down there at 44. We do have a couple numbers coming out here in about 5 minutes. See how that goes.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard for it to get back up there with all the red showing.
There's a lot of red, that's for sure. We'll see.
It's amazing to me, the NASDAQ's down 280 points and it could be up 280 points in another 30 minutes.
Oh, for sure. The way these things are moving, for sure.
Yeah, earnings season, so I guess some of the banks are doing well and some of them aren't.
Yeah. You tell me what bank loses money.
Yeah. Well.
Not these banks that are reporting. Maybe some of the smaller banks that you're not going to hear too much about, but definitely not these banks. Yes.
And well, the losing is not. They didn't reach the expectation. We made
right, they're not losing, right?
We made $2 billion, but we expected to make $3 billion.
right, and they tanked the stock because
I know.
Yeah, I could never understand that. Yeah. Here, JP Morgan reported earnings that topped estimates largely on lower than expected operating expenses, but its shares fell 4% overnight on Tuesday after investment bank revenues missed expectations. The bank's guidance for overall net interest income came better than expected, and its expectation for expenses was in line. JP Morgan's fourth quarter was unsurprisingly robust, unsurprisingly, with trading revenues and loan demand keeping up well. However, slower consumer sentiment, higher market based CPR in mortgages, a lower than expected IBD, whatever those fees, risk worth considering in 2026. So, yeah, see what happens. Let's see. The banks largely pushed back on Trump's proposal for a 1-year cap on credit card interest rates at 10%, a move that would have likely required government congressional approval. In an earnings call with analyst JP Morgan CFO warned that the move could lead to people losing access to credit on a very, very extensive basis. And so it's a pretty severely negative consequence for consumers, and frankly, probably also a negative consequence for the economy as a whole right now. I mean, for a lot of people have to pay 29% or whatever it is, and they go down to 10, and the banks are crying like, "Oh, we're going to lose money. It's going to be a negative consequence to the economy." I mean, why? They're going to have all that extra money to have that they would usually give to interest rates. They're scared. They're trying to scare people by saying that. I mean, I thought when I first heard about it, that's kind of ingenious because people who are paying, get 20% off on their credit card bills. Now, some of them could obviously rack up more credit or rack up more, fees, but they're going to have that extra money to spend on the economy. It's going to, it's got to go back into the economy, especially with people who are have the credit balances are up there, having all this money. So I thought it was ingenious actually, and then these banks are like, "Oh no, they can't do that. It's going to be bad for the economy." How is that possible? All right, we do have a number, so let's be careful here as we downtick. 44 is our next support level. Numbers coming out here momentarily. Be a little bit careful about that. All right. Ooh, 40. Be careful here. Like I said, I'm down to 40 here, 38. Okay. All right. Wow, that was thank goodness for that little move back up here. I'll tell you that much. Okay. Wow. There's one reason why we don't put anything on. Of course, I had my 44s in there, and they haven't not have a chance to even get out of them before they give me a little bit of a profit. So I'll take that. Got away with that one. Okay. That's why we don't put on don't have anything on. What came out here? Business inventories and existing home sales. Wow. It could be off that much. Interesting. All right. Well, next support level on the downside here, we're looking at the 35. Got down to 38 and change there on the downside on that last quick move. Like I said, if you had your You had your orders in, got filled quickly. Obviously, I didn't even have a chance to get out of them before they rotated back up. Now, I don't like to. I use a finger stop versus a mechanical stop, so that's why I still had them. If you had you got filled in there and you got filled on the stop as well, that's unfortunate, but that's also being safe. Nothing wrong with that. But that's why we also tell you not to trade when numbers are released. So.
And I'm glad I listened to you.
Got to understand the risk, and we try to explain the risk. That's all. So, and then the rest is up to each individual here. Like I said, I don't use a mechanical stop. It's just bad habit in mine. So I did not get out of them until I didn't even have a chance to get out of them until it rotated back up. I wasn't expecting to get filled either, to be honest with you. We were trading at 50. I didn't think the number was going to make that kind of move, but then again, this is why we just never know when these numbers, the reaction that you're going to get to these numbers when they come out. Okay. Next support level we're looking at down here at 35, down to 38 and change. See if we can get down there.
Well, it's 9:02, past my
Yes.
bedtime. I'm going to get
Yes.
in, get out, and get gone.
Yeah, and get gone. That's right. I like that.
All right.
I love it. All right. See you tomorrow. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
A little resistance would be around the 65 area now. If we get back up there. Okay. A tariff decision might be out today, some CNBC says. So that could definitely jolt the market. Maybe that's why we're down so much. But who knows what they're gonna do? I mean, they didn't sound like they were gonna back tariffs in their questioning, but the administration said they're gonna have a backup plan uh, if they come up and rule against them. So, but initially, I think you're going to get negative reaction. All right, well, we got up to 52 area. Again, a little resistance would be around the 65. Next support level we're looking at on the downside is down there at the 35. So again, if they come up with the decision on tariffs, anything could happen then. Definitely don't want to be trading if that happens when it comes out. I mean, we don't know. The problem is we don't know when it's going to come out. So, uh, shall see. All right, getting a little choppy here. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, whoa. Something's out.
Go, baby, go.
We have 65, a little resistance, but like I said, if they're, you got to be careful here. You don't know what is. Did it? Did they come out with the results? Should say decision on tariffs. So pop up here. Bonds popped also. Kind of a weird time of the day to have a little bit of a pop, but that's what's going on. Okay, be careful here. Blue band 65 area there, and it's where it's at. Obviously, you have to consider whatever news is coming out is creating this little push up here. All right, continue to rally here a little bit, so be careful here at 65 if you're going to take it. I mean, it's a price action play, but there's definitely some momentum to the upside here for whatever reason. All right, coming up here to the 65 area. If you're going to take it, keep your stop in place. Again, because of the whatever is happening here is creating this little rotation here, but rotation, whatever's happening is getting us to our area that we want to try to sell. But again, there's something going on, so got to be mindful of that and trade it with a grain of salt here. If you're going to trade it at all. Got a blue band there at 66. They got right up to 67. Came back down. No decision today. Okay. All right. Well, they did get up to our blue band there and did get a nice quick rotation. Now, if we upside next level, that we already tested. Well, the 80 has already been tested. Well, we got up to 79, 75. So on the upside there, be careful at 80. Might have to, if you're going to do anything, do maybe 81, but keep a tight stop. On the upside, if we do get back up there, something was up there. Look at that crazy little bar here, right? All right, there it is. It's a continues to uptick here. Be mindful, whatever news is out. I don't know what is going on. Somebody let me know. I don't know. It doesn't matter actually. We just trade whatever the market is doing. Just be patient. No decision on that. Huh. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that was the reason we are rallying, to be honest with you, but who knows? For those of you who might have missed the levels, they are there in the chat for us. We use those as a guide for the day. We are scalping mini S&Ps. We had some nice rotations against our support levels there. And as the market here continues to rally a little bit, we did go right up to our pivot area there. If you're a pivot player, first rotation to our pivot, always a little bit of an opportunity there for some of you like that trade, another price action trade. Again, we have those levels give us opportunities to scalp and also our price action trades. And obviously those are a little riskier. But we mention them every now and then. Anything I talk about it as far as levels and or price action trades, we teach in our education course that we offer. For those of you who want to be able to find areas on your own, understand why we'd have them, and then kind of translate. You can take whatever technical analysis we have for bond market and use them other market for the S&Ps, I should say, and use them in other markets as well. And we do that live in our Zoom room here. After we, finish our morning session, we have our classes. And the goal of the class is to be able to find these areas on your own, trade them on your own, and try to maximize profits based on your risk tolerance, because everybody here has different risk tolerances. And we here trade the same way. So we are trading mini S&Ps. We're looking for scalping opportunities. And like I said, we had some nice rotations against our levels there on the downside. And now we're coming back up here. See what it wants to do. We did have a couple of price action trades as well if you're very aggressive. So no news on the decision, I should say, on the tariff situation from Supreme Court. Do they only let out decisions on Tuesdays, or do they do it every day at around 9 o'clock? That's what time they usually come up with decisions. I think yesterday they came out with some kind of, I don't know if it's only one day or not. All right, well, we did go right up to our pivot area there, and coming off here a little bit. Again, we already tested these areas already, so on the downside, so I would, the issue here is what we do on the downside. We would just kind of wait here. We really don't have anything till 35 because we already went through our other levels. So I'd be a little bit careful there. Anything else? All right, we are definitely chopping around here a little bit, so we'll see. Again, if we take to the upside there, the 80, we got up to 79, 75, so be careful there at 80. And if we do anything, maybe do the 81 against the 80, and then we'll see, and keep a tight stop there because I think we got above 83. We could rotate to our upper levels on the upside there. Or we might just drift back into this range again. We've already traded this range, so that's why for us it's going to be kind of tough to get anything, as far as opportunities on these levels here. Now we're trading them back down here. I don't know what created that rally there. Created that rally, big time rally, but right up to our pivot area there and it came off. Now we're drifting back into this range. So this is like what I like to call the no trade zone. It's tough to figure out where it's going to stop on the rotation back. I mean, there is a little support around 55, but like I would not, since we already tested it, made some money on that level. It's risky, but again, once we trade, that's why we kind of focus on morning hours, especially if we run through a couple of our areas there. They start retracing and stuff like that. It's kind of hard for us to get anything going on with that. So again, we also focus on morning hours to give us our opportunities. All right, market continues the downtick here. Again, we tested these levels already, so we're really looking down at the 35s, our next support, a good support area that I would be kind of looking at. Really, very tough to try to figure out, especially if we ran through these areas already. What I would do next, except for the area that hasn't been touched, which is down at 35. Give us some more levels to the downside here. We got 35, 25, then we got 14, 06, and 68, 97. Market continues down to here, looking at the 35 area next. All right, we are quickly rotating down here. We're looking at the 35 area. We get down there or not. All right, popping back up here a little bit. They got down to 42 and change there. We're looking at the 35 area. All right, it seems like we're turning over here a little bit. We're looking at the 35 area. See if we get down there or not. All right, well, we drifted down to 42-ish, 41. Came back up a little bit. Yeah, let's give you some levels to the downside. In addition, 35 next and 25, 1406 and 6897. All right, well, we got down to 42 and change. Popped back up. We're looking at the 35 area. All right, we are kind of drifting slowly back down here. see where we want to go next. 35 is our next support level on the downside that we're going to be focused on. I'm quickly coming down here to these lows, looking at the 35 area. Again, making sure you keep your stops in place. We got some volatility here in the market, so we are always at the mercy of volatility. Sometimes it works nicely for us, but we always have to be careful and make sure we keep our stops in place. All right, coming down here to these interim lows. If we can get to the 35 area, and again, like I said, I scale in at 36, 35, and 34. That's how I like to do it, and that's why we call it an area. But not everybody has to do that. Oh, we did not make a new low there, amazingly. And flying down there and just stopped. But our next support level we're looking at is down at 35. All right, coming down here to the 35 area. Again, always keep your stop in place. Take scalp these markets, trying to take a little bit of a rotation against the level. Always make sure you keep your stop in place. All right, nice little pop back up here. Again, we got the 34 as well, giving us our 2 points here and a little bit more. All right, nice little rotation there against our 35 area. That's a couple of quick points there, scalping it. If you got the 34, you got a little bit more than that. A nice little trade there if you did jump in. Our next level that we're focused in on is going to be the 25 area. Give us one opportunity to get out. Hopefully you already had your orders in place there. And nice little quick scalping opportunity for us. We have to wait a little bit of time because it really didn't do anything, and then it kind of slowly came back here. There were a couple of rallies in the middle of all that, but patience prevailed. If you're patient enough and waited for 35, got a nice little opportunity. The next level that we're looking at is down here at 25. I did give you some more levels to the downside. I gave you 1406 and 897. Now we're looking at the 25 area next. I will get down to 27 and change. Again, like I said, high scaling around there. We had 526, 524. Obviously, not getting my sixes, so I would probably be cancel those right now and look at 25 and 24 here. Especially since I made some money and it's riskier. I would have liked to get that 26 on that first rotation. So I'll be a little bit careful here. Obviously, we got some volatility in the market, and we average about 4 to 5 trades a day. I think definitely. Well, obviously, our levels alone are more than that because we ran through our downside support areas here, and we did hit our 80 on the upside. So I mean, there was a couple of price action trades. So we like to average about 4 to 5 trades a day. I would say a keyword there is average. Obviously, today we're over that. I think the other day we had like 4. So every day is different, as you can imagine. We are not trying to figure out how markets move. All we're trying to do is just take advantage of ebbs and flows when the markets create opportunity for us. Well, we got down to 26 and a half. And even if you kept 26 in there, you did not get filled. So that's kind of annoying. and then we're getting a rotation here. So be very careful there at 26 for sure. All right. Well, as you can see, we almost got our 25 to the downside there, but we just missed out by just a little bit. And sometimes, hey, that's going to happen. But so now if we come back down there, to obviously the 26 on the top end there is a little bit more riskier. Yeah, I would be very careful there, even with the 25, only because of the price action here. Obviously, if we go back down and retest these interim lows, the momentum might carry us through a little bit. So if we're going to trade the level, trade a little bit smaller, we get spit it out. we did give you more additional levels to the downside there. We gave you 14.06 and a 68.97 in case the market continues to downtick here. Little resistance right now would be around the 52 area if we get back up there. And we gave you some more levels to the downside there, so let's be patient. And we've had some nice trades this morning. We've had some more rotations that gave us a lot of opportunities. So we have definitely exceeded our average of what we're trying to get here every morning. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Otherwise, we will get back here in a bit. Thanks.
For those that are joining us through our socials, we had a good trading morning. Right now it's 11:03 a.m. We're winding down for the day, and we'll be back here again tomorrow. Everything we do is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as trading advice. We're in the education business here. If you like what we're doing here, tell your friends through our socials. Like us, share us, repost us, heart us, bookmark us. Ultimately, follow the instructions. Come in right into our Zoom as our guest. If you want to learn how to trade and scalp, if you want to learn how to trade and scalp better than you're currently doing, join us daily in our programming. Put daytradingmarkets.org in your browser and join us. Day trading.